A delegation from Athens is visiting the G7 meeting this week in Brussels to make the case for how the ruling Syriza party is planning on salvaging Greece's economy. German Chancellor Angela Merkel warned Greece that time was running out to meet the obligations of the Troika of international creditors. The Troika is the International Monetary Fund, the European Commission, and the European Central Bank. The current bailout plan expires on June 30th. Syriza party leader and Greek President Alexis Tsipras needs a large infusion of cash to help his nation meet debt obligations. The specter of Greece being kicked out of the European Union over its debt crisis looms large. Earlier this year, Syriza made waves around the world for coming to power on a radical anti-austerity platform. Greek people have suffered conditions comparable to the U.S. Great Depression of the 1930s. Joining me now is Costas Panayotakis. He is a professor of sociology at the City University of New York, and he's the author of Remaking Scarcity: From Capitalist Inefficiency to Economic Democracy. Welcome to Uprising, Costas.
It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Thanks so much for joining us. Well, there's news coming out just this morning that there are apparently new proposals that Greece has just submitted. We don't know, I think, the details of those proposals yet, but let's see if we can understand what the difference is in a nutshell between what the Troika is proposing, which is broadly speaking, I'm guessing austerity, essentially, to cut benefits, to cut pensions, between that and what Tsipras and Syriza is proposing. What is the difference between the two?
Yeah, basically, as you said, the dominant strategy in Europe with dealing with the crisis has been austerity, budget cuts, and cutting people's salaries and pensions, layoffs in the public sector. And Syriza running a platform to reverse austerity. What Syriza has been proposing, it's not even really reversing scarcity completely. So, for example, they have agreed to running budget surpluses at a time when unemployment is over 25%. And what they want to do is basically moderate the extent of austerity so as to moderate the effect this austerity has had on the Greek economy. And that's why Syriza has tried to be opposed to reducing pensions even further, which have been reduced very significantly. And this, of course, would undercut people's income, and it would aggravate the social crisis that exists in Greek society. And it has been opposed to completely liquidating labor protections. Already labor protections and labor rights have been seriously compromised as part of this program in the last few years. And the IMF especially insists that this be continued and become even worse than it already is. And Syriza wants to gradually try to reverse this process of completely deregulating labor relations. So these two issues have been key, but Syriza has made many concessions. They have softened their line on privatizations, for example, so they're willing to go along with some of the privatizations that they were opposed to. But it seems like the Europeans and the IMF are playing hardball because, and I think partly the reason is not purely economic, it's partly political.